So this video is to introduce you to the topic of the Boston Matrix, explain what it is and how it works. So the Boston Matrix is a tool used by companies to try and analyze the different products that they have and put them into 4 different categories. This would be particularly useful for big companies that have lots of different products that they sell. For example, someone like Coca-Cola that sells dozens of different drinks in different markets, different countries, and so on. Got Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Fanta, all the different innocent juices and drinks, water drinks, a whole range of different things. You're looking at 2 things when you're constructing your Boston Matrix. You're looking at the market share of the product and you're looking at the market growth of the product. So you place your products into the 4 different categories that I'll show you in a sec, and then you use that to help you decide what to do with your marketing strategy, how the different products are going to need different types of marketing strategies depending on what category they fit into. So the Boston Matrix is basically like this. That's why it's called a matrix, because it's kind of a grid system. On one axis, the horizontal axis here, you can see we've got market growth. So we've got ranging from low market growth to high market growth. On the vertical axis, we've got market share. So how much of the market does that particular product control? So you've got low market share up to high market share. So then we've got these 4 different categories of products. So if we start at the top left, you've got, first of all, a cash cow. This is a product with low market growth. So the market itself isn't really getting any bigger. It's fairly stable. But your product has a very high share of that market. So the kind of standard Coca-Cola, bottles, cans, whatever, that's going to be a cash cow. The market, the cola drinks market isn't particularly growing, but Coca-Cola are by far and away the dominant product in that market. If you move over to the top right, you've got rising stars. These are products where the market itself is growing quite rapidly and your company has a high share of that market. So that's quite a nice place to be in. It means your market is getting bigger and bigger, so there's more and more potential customers. And within that market, you're actually quite a dominant product. If we move to the bottom right, this is where the market itself is growing high, so there's a good potential there. But your market share is only low. So yes, there's lots of potential in this market, but your product isn't very popular with consumers at the moment. You haven't done a very good job of capturing much of that market. So it's a problem child. You need to try and do something about that problem child to try and fix the problems that you've got there. And then lastly, dog. This is kind of the worst situation to be in. You don't really want to be in that position. The market itself isn't really growing, and you haven't even got much of a share of that market either. So it's bad on both fronts. The market itself is pretty rubbish, and your product is not popular within that market. So if you think about these different 4 different categories, you want to approach how you market those products differently. Your cash cows, you want to keep them going, keep them ticking over. Nothing very exciting is going to happen with those, but they're going to keep generating lots of money, lots of revenue for your business. Your rising stars, you want to keep pushing those. The market, like I said, is growing rapidly. It's high market growth, so there's good potential there. You want to make sure you keep your high market share. So you might want to make sure you're focusing quite a bit on those to make sure they're top of their game, to make sure they keep being popular with the consumers. Your problem childs are ones, again, that you really need to be looking at addressing, because like I said, the market is growing high, but your product hasn't got much of a market share. So you want to try and shift that problem child up into becoming a rising star. So you need to think about how you can shift up your marketing, change your marketing strategy, do something to switch that problem child so it becomes a rising star. And your dogs, you probably want to get rid of those. Stop Unless you think there's some way you can maybe improve the situation, it's the kind of thing where you might be thinking about just giving up on these products. Or what some companies will do, if they look at their Boston matrix, they might sell these off to other companies who think they might have more of a chance of pushing that product. And that's it, basically. That's what the Boston matrix is all about. As a company, think about big conglomerates, like I said, like Coca-Cola or someone like Unilever, who have got a whole range of different products. They could sit down, look at their products, place them in what category they think they go in, and then the next step after that would then be to think, right, therefore, how are we going to approach the marketing of these different products?